Hello, and welcome back to another War Thunder video, where today's video is going to be about the RU-251. The RU-251 is a rank 4 West German premium light tank at a battle rating of 6.7, and this tank is a very important tank for the German lineup because it is the best light tank that the Germans get at this battle rating. There's also the German Walker Bulldog, but that tank is not as good as this one. So this is a very quick German light tank. It goes at 80 kilometers per hour forwards maximum and 80 kilometers per hour backwards maximum. It has a 25.88 horsepower to ton and takes about 9 seconds to make a full turn, which is about 40 degrees per second. I had to test the turn speed out myself. So you could see that this is a very quick tank. I'm quickly getting into position. You see me playing on the marginal line map in realistic battles with a battle game mode, and since this tank is so fast, and it also gets the scout ability, it's a very good scout, which is what the Germans need since most German tanks at this battle rating are pretty slow. So you can see that I'm quickly getting ahead of my team, and with this speed you could get ahead of the enemy team very quickly, and you could get into very good positions. So you can see the only real things that are really competing with me with speed is the Fiat and the Char, the Bat Chatillon. So now I'm quickly getting into position. This is the first time, this replay was the first time that I've been on this form of the map, and I always really like to use this ridgeline, but I saw that I couldn't really use this ridgeline in this game mode because I want to be able to at least defend my base well, my ACAP well, and support my team with the scouting. So I think I have to cut through the middle a bit. But the problem is there's a lot of open terrain through the middle, so I'm going to have to watch out. So I look around and I spot a Hellcat. So this tank, it has a 90mm BK-90 cannon, so it is able to hull break Hellcats like you see here. I get a very nice turret snipe into the Hellcat, which breaks his hull. So now I want to push forward a bit. Since this tank is really fast, I don't really have to worry about medium tanks shooting me in open terrain, but I have to worry a bit about light tanks and Hellcats. So this tank, it's a very good Hellcat destroyer, and you're going to be facing those a lot because Hellcats are a very popular tank. The Hellcat is a 5.7 battle rating tank, and people really like to use them at higher battle ratings as well. So even though the Americans, they do have some quite fast tanks, which include this T-92 right here, which also gets hull broken. So you can see that this gun's very effective at hull breaking lighter armored targets. So this tank, it has 61 rounds that you could have in the tank. It has 20 degrees of gun elevation and -9 degrees of gun depression, which makes it very effective on ridge lines, especially with scouting as well. It has two 7.62mm machine guns that have 9mm of penetration maximum at 100 meters, and has 8 smoke grenades, which come out in, I guess, 2 groups, each having 4, since there are 8 grenades. So now you can see I'm just looking around for any light tanks that could get caught in front of my gun, and I don't spot any. So now I just want to progress. I want to get into the middle on a very good ridgeline, which I can scout and snipe enemies with. So this gun, I have a 8.6, the main gun, I have an 8.6 second reload, which is pretty much average. It can get as low as, I'm pretty sure, somewhere like 7.5 second reload. but it's a pretty slow reloading gun, but it's still a very good gun. I really enjoy this gun. It's a very good gun. For me, at least, I enjoy it. Not everybody will enjoy it. And also, note that this is not a beginner tank. It is a light tank, and light tanks are a bit hard to play. Even though they're a fun bit of challenge, they're not a very good beginner tank. So I spot this super Pershing, and I shoot him once, crippling him, so he will be unable to kill my teammates for a little bit. So, and you can see that I'm just looking around to see if there are any enemies that could get caught in front of my gun that are possibly scouting my team. So now I'm going to switch back over, and I spot another super Pershing. So quickly scout him, and I am going to put a shot into him since he doesn't know me. And I don't penetrate him since I aimed a bit too low, and that's a real shame because I could have even killed him, and I get a bit afraid of the gun there when he shot, so I actually dipped the gun too low and I hit the ground. So he kills my loader with his machine gun, and that's one thing that you have to know, that this tank is very lightly armored. So ammunition wise, the stock round is a DM 502. It's a high explosive squash head shell with 102 millimeters of penetration at any range, and has explosive mass of 2.12 kilograms. So you can see right here in the replay that I scout both of the super Pershings, and I get double intelligence and a double kill assist since I shot them both. So another shell, the main shell that you should use, the squash head shell is a very good shell for lightly armored targets, and if you have to sort of splash it on an enemy. The main shell that you should use is the M431 high explosive fin stabilized shell that has 320 millimeters of penetration at all ranges. I thought that I wouldn't like this shell, but it's actually a better shell than I expected. So it has a lot of penetration. 320 is a lot, especially for a light tank, and it's a better shell than you might expect. And the third shell is a M17 high explosive shell with 925 grams of explosives and has 13 millimeters of penetration at all ranges. This is a worthless shell that you should use the high explosive squash head definitely over that one. So I quickly get a hull break onto the M42. That could have shredded me very quickly if I was at close range. You should always watch out for anti-air with this tank. And I get this, I'm pretty sure that's a Pershing, who decided to turn his turret backwards, and he J's out. So, armor-wise, this tank, on the frontal hull, it has about 51 millimeters. The side has about 24 millimeters, and the back about 11. So you could see that it can get shredded very quickly. So I skipped through the replay a bit, since this was normally a very long replay, but I decided to skip through. And I spot this FV4202. I get his gunner, loader, and engine. That's a very good effective shot. So the turret front, it has about 25 millimeters of armor. The side has about 24, and the back has about 23. The top of the hull and the turret is 10 millimeters, so you can get strafed by aircraft very easily, and you will get penetrated very easily by aircraft. So you have to watch out about that. So you can see I'm using my very quick reverse speed. It's a very fun tank with the reverse speed due to this high speed when driving in reverse, and it's pretty funny to see this light tank driving so quickly backwards, since you don't see many other light tanks going this fast. So I get shot, and here I panicked a little bit because I had no idea what shot me. I look around, I go back towards this house, and I'm just wondering what shot me. So I quickly look around the house, to see if there's anything that could have possibly shot me. And now I'm just thinking, well, what do I do? So I start to progress a little bit, and here you see I get shot again, and the tank kills my truck. And now I know that he's behind me. So I quickly turn my turret around, and you're going to see that I use my smoke grenades. And since the smoke grenades, they're positioned at the back of the turret and they're pointing forward, so I have to turn the turret all the way back. So I use both groups of smoke grenades, and now I'm going to quickly repair, and I'm going to see what I can do about this enemy. So I look around to see if he's around, and I see his smoke, I'm pretty sure that is, and I quickly put a shot into him and his ammunition explodes. Very nice kill there inside the smoke, and now I'm going to quickly go backwards and escape. So there's not much known historically about the RU-251. Here you see I quickly get a crew member back. There's not much known about the RU-251 other than it was a prototype, and it was supposed to be a replacement for the M41 Walker Bulldog that the Americans provided the Germans, since they did not allow the Germans to create their own tanks. And about at least one of these were built. And the one thing that with the matchmaking is that this thing, it fights American tanks, so which is pretty. It's not very realistic since this is a West German tank, but since it's with a lot of German Nazi German tanks, then it's going to be most likely fighting American tanks. But the weird thing is that it gets teamed up with Soviet tanks, which is not very realistic either, since it's a West German tank. So now you're gonna see me get my last kill on this enemy Hellcat. And even though it's not a beginner tank, if you really like light tanks, it's a very fun tank. And you can see I get the quick hull break on the M18. So I'm just going to show you the post-game stats. That's going to be about the end of this video. I'm going to have a little bit of extras at the end for you to enjoy. So if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. So here you see me in my P40 Warhawk. It's gonna be some very quick action-packed gameplay. You can see I get a quick kill on the HE-100. I'm going to dive a bit, spot another enemy aircraft, BF-109E, quickly done. And now this enemy anti-air, quickly shoot him a bit, have some bombs, goodbye. Very quick action-packed gameplay in the P40. And here you see me in my RU-251. I shoot an artillery towards the enemy. I get stuck in the rocks, but the artillery starts to hit. I spot this tiger. I have to quickly get rid of him. Now this M41 wants some, so I'll quickly put some into him. Pick it. And an IS-2 kill with artillery. Yeah, not what I expected.